Hello YouTubers, Paul here, your channel host, What to Be channel. Well, it's the second week of I'm a Celebrity. Get me out of here! And my second vlog for this series. Last week, or last Sunday night, I did episodes 1 through to 8. So the first episode all the way through to the live trial, which was last Sunday. So today I'm going to be doing, or this evening, I've just watched episode 15, so I'm going to be doing episodes 9 through till 15, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. No, hang on a minute. Episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I did the first 8 episodes. So this week it's Monday to Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, episodes 9 till 15. So again, I'm working off these notes, which are all, they may look gobbledygook, but I do apologise for that. So I'll try my best. So we finished last week on episode 8, where the campmates had to do a live trial, and they got minutes for the Jungle Quest, which James, Rita and John took part in, and they got the maximum time of 85 minutes, I think it was. Yeah, 85 minutes for them to take part. They got all the stars apart from one for the Jungle Quest, which was, would you believe it, the last trial was a rope pulley, no, not rope pulley, a rope slide down the down, because it was a quest through the outback jungle where they had to do different challenges to get stars, and the last one, all three of them had to do a rope slide and grab a star as they were coming down. John touched it with his fingers and didn't grab it with seconds to spare, so they got back to camp, and Nick forfeited his, because they all had a luxury feast, and Nick forfeited his, and he just decided to stay in camp by himself, because he said the ones who had been on the trial, on the quest, needed filled up. The bush took a trial. It was hellish. Yeah, so that was episode 9. Episode 10 was the alright, and Anne Hegarty in episode 9 was voted to do Hellish Hospital, which was the next Bush Tucker trial in episode 10. So episode 10, the Bush Tucker trial was called Hellish Hospital. And basically that was a building set up with in different rooms, made up to look like a hellish hospital. Basically, there was different, like the waiting room, there was a mortuary, I think, and she had to rummage and get different stars, and she managed to get 7 stars, and I think the last room was where she had to go, get on her hands and knees and go into a doorway, and there was actually a monitor lizard or something inside, but it was all dark, and she said, "I'm a celebrity, get me out of here," and she managed to get 7 stars, so well done, Anne, for that. And when she was doing it, you could see that she was working methodically. She was going through in her mind, right, what do I have to do here, what do I have to do here, with her autism, and it was interesting to see her doing that. And at the end of episode 10, Malik and Sarah were voted to do the next Bush Tucker trial, which is called Dreaded Deliveries. So episode 11, the Bush Tucker trial was called Dreaded Deliveries. Malik and Sarah took part. It was an eating trial. They got all 11 stars. Pretty horrible, but you know, they just took the time eating the food, and then they encouraged each other. And yeah, they managed to get it. They managed to get all 11 stars, so well done, Malik and Sarah. And then it was announced at the end of that there was the following episode 12. It was announced at the end of episode 11 that there was going to be a thing called Immunity Games, where the winning teams would avoid the vote-offs. So the first round of vote-offs. So it was revealed that Harry, Nick, and John were going to be the team captains of Deadly Dash for the Immunity Games, and then they would pick their teams. So episode 12 was the Immunity Games. This was, hang on a minute, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So this was Thursday's episode. It was called Deadly Dash, and it was Deadly Dash. What did they do? Anyway, the team captains were Nick, Harry, and John. I forget what the challenge was. But anyway, because Harry won, John came second and Nick last, because the teams were called Nick had the Galahs, Harry the Roos, and John the Koalas. Because Harry came first. Oh no, sorry, I do apologise. It was Roman. It was what they were wearing, a pair of goggles, and that. It was a racetrack set up in the jungle. That's right. Yes, it came to us again. And that there was 3 different boxes where they had to get stars out of them. One of them where they could only use their tongue. One of them where they had to put the whole head in and rummage around with their goggles, find the stars that way. And then the third one was a jigsaw puzzle. Harry was right in the lead, but then he was struggling with the jigsaw at the end. Nick won, John second, and then Harry third. So Nick got to pick his first team, and he picked Malik and Sarah. John was second, so he picked Anne and Emily, and Harry picked Fleur and James. Noel and Rita weren't picked by anybody, so they became a new team called the Underdogs. So let's get this right. Trying to figure out what I've wrote here. Oh yes, here we go. The next challenge was the Bolton Lake, where Emily, Rita, Malik, and James had to take part, and it was they were in a boat and had to put water into into their boat. It was like a tube to keep the flag, and whoever kept their flag afloat the longest won. Emily won, followed by James, then Malik, and Rita lost. And then the next one was the gymnasium pull rings, where it was Anne, Sarah, Fleur, and Noel. Anne said straight away, "I'm a celebrity, get me out of here." So it was down to Sarah, Fleur, and Noel, and they had to hold on to rings to hold on for the longest, to keep they were on a bike basically. No, sorry, it was gymnasium pull rings, and they had to hold on, keep holding down the ropes, the pressure on the rope, on the ropes with the circle on, the pull rings, and Sarah and Fleur won. No, Sarah and I think there was Sarah, Fleur, and Noel. there was a draw at the end. So the nearest they had to go to a tiebreaker, which was they had to guess the nearest hours, minutes, and seconds that they'd all been taken part in, and who won that one? I think Noel got the Noel scored it, got the right answer, so got the closest. So he won that, and then it went on to so that was episode 12. Episode 13. By this time, the Roos had 4 points, Koalas had 3 points, Underdogs 3 points, and the Galas had 2 points. And this was, and everybody was taking part in Rancid Races, which was basically drinking games. Noel cheated on one of them. The first one was raw milkshake. Rita won. There was Fleur, Rita, Noel and John. Oh no, this one was pigs. Sorry, the first drink was pig isotonic, which was pig's ears. Emily, Nick, Fleur, and Rita were taking part. Nick won. The next one was raw milk shellake, which was blended snails. Malik, Harry, Sarah, and Anne were taking part. Malik won. The next one was iced sea, which was blended fermented seaweed. Sarah, Anne, James, and Rita were taking part. James won. The next one was green ants. I can't figure out what I wrote. Yoxatant, which was basically blended green ants. Emily, Noel, Nick, and James were taking part in this one, and Nick won. And then the final one was orange juice with electroshite, blended crockiness. Nick, Rita, Emily, and Fleur were taking part, and Nick won. And basically, and then there was alright, so it finished with the Roos had 5, Koalas and Underdogs had 3 each, and the Galas 6. And then it had to go to a now what happened here? Oh yes, because there was a draw with 2 of the teams. It had to go to a tiebreaker to see who would become second place. So the last drink was called Crapple Juice, which was blended cockroaches, crickets, and mealworms. John and Noel had to take part because they were from the Koalas and the Underdogs, who were basically the last 2 teams, and who were drawing at 3 points apiece. Noel cheated, and so the point went to John, and it ended up with the final scores were Roos 5, Koalas 4, Underdogs 3, and Galas 6. So the public vote off was Noel and Rita. They ended up going to public vote. They didn't survive immunity, and the playoffs. Now what was the Velodrome with now who was in this one? It was Anne. This was to win immunity and a meal. Anne, Emily, John, James, and Fleur were all taking part. Anne decided to say, "I'm a celebrity, get me out of here," so she didn't take part. And all it was staying on a bike for the longest, keep going along, and they had to, while there was bugs coming on them. And who won this one? James and Fleur. James won, and Harry won. trying to figure out who won this one. There was Aunt Emily, Harry, James, and Fleur taking part, and James and Fleur won. With what I've wrote here. Sorry about this, YouTubers. Anyway, it ended up where Noel and Rita were James and Fleur won. Sorry, John and I can't figure out YouTubers. There you go. That's what I'm reading off. It's my own bloody writing, eh? Sorry, it's my own fault. I'm sorry for piddling on. This was last week though. John and Fleur. The velodrome. Anne said, "I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here." So it was immunity and a meal. Oh, so yes, that was right. The koalas. Now, who was in the koalas again? Who was in the koalas? In the koalas, Anne and Emily and John. And right, yes. So it was the three. It was teams. It was the koalas and the underdogs that were taking part. That was right. And Fleur, for the ruse, got 1 point, and John, for the koalas, got 1 point. So that meant they got a meal in camp that night with the rest of the team. Because of the immunity games, because Noel and Rita had lost. Oh yes, that was right. Sorry, because it was 3 and because they would have ended up on 3 and 4 points. Sorry, my fault, YouTubers. I'm just going through my head. It was because the final points were 5, 4, 3, and 6. Fleur got a 0.4. Fleur got a 0.4. The ruse, which took them on to 6 points. No, hang on a minute. That doesn't make sense, does it? Emily, John, James, and Fleur. And hang on a minute. Let's figure this out. Who was taking part in the velodrome with immunity for the meal? There was Emily, John, James, Fleur, Harry. Oh yes, here we go. Emily, John, James, Fleur, and Harry were taking part in the velodrome. That was right, because they were the lowest ones. Fleur and John won, so they avoided the they got an extra meal in camp. They got the meal in camp. The rest got rice and beans. Apart from so basically the Galas had a meal. Fleur watched which team was she on? She was on the ruse. So they got a meal, and the other 2 teams got rice and beans. That was it. So yeah, that was right. They got a cooked meal in camp that night. Because of the people who didn't have immunity, which was Rita and Noel, it ended up where Noel was voted off first, which I was very surprised at. So that was episode 13. And I am sorry about all my gobbledygook there. Episode 14, which was Saturday night, the Bush Tucker trial, which was announced in Extra Camp. Sarah was taking part in it. She decided to nominate herself because they're now down to where the campmates are nominating each other. And it was sitting in sewer. So it was announced in the previous night. So episode 13's Extra Camp that Sarah was taking part in it. they're taking part in a short straw where they're taking short straws actually, because Sarah had put Sarah and some others had put themselves forward for the Bush Tucker trial. So they decided to take short straws. Sarah drew the short straw, and it was Sickening Sewer, where she had to go through different tunnels and get stars. She got 10 stars out of 10. So well done, Sarah. And then at the end, it was revealed that Fleur will be taking part in Gore Seasons Pizza. She decided to take part in Gore Seasons Pizza. And the public voted for the new camp leader and the deputy, which was James and Rita. And then episode 15, which was Sunday night, it was revealed that John had been injured in camp. It would have been the Saturday night, because we watch like a day behind. He was taken to hospital. And it was because it was revealed he'd actually sprained his ankle in camp. You actually saw the footage where he fell over. So it's a mystery if he's coming back or not. Fleur had to take part in the trial, which is Gore Seasons Pizza, which was basically, she was strapped to a giant pizza base. She had loads of creepy crawlies put on her, like a pizza base, and she had a baseball bat, and she had to whack the I can't remember what you were calling them. It was like different bits of a pizza. She had to whack them to get the stars out, and she got all 10. And then Malik was evicted, unusually. Well, no, in fact, not surprisingly. So he was the second person to go. But yes, that's where we're up to now. So what I'm going to do for next week is see if I'm a bit more organised with me writing next week. I'm going to do Monday to Sunday again, including the final. And then I'll do a separate vlog about me predictions about me winning and losings. Okay, so yeah. So anyway, I'm going to get going, and I'll see you later, YouTubers.